Okay, well, another little change of pace here. Do you remember that time Kim Kardashian married that guy and it was over really quickly? His name was Chris Humphries. I had to Google that. And their sacred union lasted 72 days. Well, Liz Truss's tenure at the top of the UK shaved a significant chunk off that. Now, I'm not being judgy, I promise. I've never been married, nor have I run a country. But I reckon by all measures, the whole thing in the United Kingdom has been a complete unmitigated disaster. And it's not just Liz who's hurting. Spare a thought for the authors of this new book, due out in 6 weeks. And those responsible for installing the new door at number 10. Now, that would be hard work. So as we do on this show, for some kind of insight into British politics, or at least a lighter take, we welcome Lord Jonathan Marland, former Conservative Party Treasurer and aide to Boris Johnson. Lord, thank you so much for your time. I've got to start by asking you, because it's always different, where are you right now?
I'm in Salisbury, my home in Salisbury, Erin. And I refer back to you that you should be running the country, really, because anyone could. I don't mean it in a disparaging way, but you'd be far better than what we're offered at the moment. So come over here and help us. And I just want to say, Erin, how awful it is seeing those pictures of Lismore and we feel sort of so bad about what's going on in Australia. It must be awful for them up there.
No, that's really lovely of you to say, and thank you so much for that. Now, Boris Johnson, your good mate, Boris. I know that you were texting him a couple of days ago. I know that your advice to him was don't, not now. And I know that he replied something to the effect of noted. But has he completely ignored your counsel?
Well, I think we'll see either today or tomorrow whether he sends me 2 fingers or not. It won't be the first time, of course. It won't be the first time anyone's done it, for that matter. But I think he'd be mad to do it. I think the people are still sore about the demise of his tenure and the way that it happened. I think that there's a parliamentary inquiry going on, which will obviously dominate the headlines for a period of time and a lot of his thinking. And I'm not sure that he will be the person who will bind the party together. If indeed, Erin, it is bindable together. This is a real rabble of members of Parliament who have not put the national interest first. They've put their own self-interest and infighting first. And that is why we're in this mess at the moment.
Yeah, it's completely bizarre. I was going to ask you about that a little bit later on, but I'll ask you now. I mean, pushing and shoving in Parliament, the backstabbing. Look, I know that our Parliament's not perfect. I know that we had Gillard Rudd and a real revolving door of our own Prime Ministers, which was on the front page of your paper, and you took the mickey out of a lot over there. But what is going on with the Tories? Is it the post-Brexit divide? I cannot understand it.
Well, there is a post-Brexit divide because it was a divided party over Brexit, as was the country. Brexit was voted for. And there's been, Boris was very injudicious towards the end of his tenure. And I think probably the total exhaustion of having to deal with COVID, having had it himself, and having to re-galvanise the country after it took its toll on him in his way. It took his eye off the ball. Excuse me. So it was time for someone new. And the experiment of Liz was disastrous in a way because she was rowing against the financial groupthink that exists in the world at the moment of high tax, high spend. And she was going to challenge it. And most of us like the sound of that because we don't want to pay any more taxes. We want to see them reduced. We want to be a competitive economy. We want to have people, particularly Australians, investing in the country. And those were the steps she was trying to carry out. But I think she went at it too quickly. She didn't pave the way, which was unfortunate. And so we're now back in the global groupthink of printing money, high taxes, high spend, and it's going to be very difficult for citizens around the world, let alone the United Kingdom.
Rishi Sunak is leading the race right now. I think in fact, I know he met with Boris a little while back. Is he the right person, do you think? And do you know what that meeting was about with the former PM?
Well, I don't know the details of the meeting. I know there was an attempt to have a meeting and Rishi declined when Boris asked him last week. So that's as far as I know. I know that Rishi is contacting Conservative members directly to try and persuade them he's the right man. And it doesn't really matter whether I think he's the right man or not. It's the MPs who do, and they choose him. I'm afraid they've got it wrong so often, you can't tell. And of course, you could never tell, Erin, until you get into the job. Liz Truss was going to be the golden girl, but when she got into the job, it was a different story. So it's like any chief executive or any leader of a thing, you never know until they get into the job.
Can I just ask you quickly, what's been your shortest tenure in a role? I've had a few, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on, but we've all been there.
17 years, probably.
Of course. You're a lord.
It's a bit early in the morning to ask me that one, Erin. I know it's not morning over there, but it's a bit early here to remember that. I'll put it in writing.
You're a good man. Lord Jonathan Marland.
But I'm going to hang on and listen to yours. I'll hang on and listen to yours, which will be much more interesting.
We will keep the live link open so you can. You're a very good man. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much, and no doubt we'll talk to you again soon.